Good evening, everyone. Happy Easter Sunday, actually. Yeah, happy Easter Sunday. Hope everyone is well. Nana, Subs, Chris, how are you guys?
Greetings.
I'm all good. I'm all good, thank you. I hope everyone's well.
Yeah,
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. How are you, Teresa?
Yeah, you know what? A little bit of a cold, but it could be worse. It could be worse.
Oh, you got a cold.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm a tough nut, so a cold will not hold.
You what?
Back.
Yeah, I
anyway,
think they've got the toes head to your top now.
Let's kind of continue with the show. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Again, thank you to everyone that's watching this on replay. We are going to be going through 10 Premier League managers this season, ranked by Sub, who is the coach or one of the coaches at LSU Masters. Chris Hubbard, the Wizard, who is a coach at Millwall and also a player at the Champions Hollington, and also Nana, who is the manager of the runners-up Catford Wanderers and goalkeeper. So this is how it's going to run. We have 10 managers. None of them know exactly where each of them has ranked the selected manager. I've also done the ranking, but I did the ranking before I literally sent everyone the list. So this is fair transparency. There's no skullduggery. And yeah, we will just start with the list. And yeah, let's gonna go with number 9, because there are 2 like managers that literally have joint voting. So so at number 9 with 8 points. Let me go back actually. Let me see if I can do this. So Nana has ranked this manager 10th. Chris has ranked this manager 8th, and Sub has ranked this manager 9th. And this manager that we are talking about is, let me find him now. Almiron of Manchester United. And let's start with Chris. Chris, why did you rank him where you did?
I can't remember. What did you say? I ranked him where, sorry?
You ranked him, I think you ranked him low. You ranked him 8th.
Just obviously, I know he's. To be fair, he could have gone higher. Obviously, they've reached the semi-final of the Europa League, but it's not. It's difficult because it's hard to judge him on his recent form with Man United. I think because I just feel like Man United are shambles at the moment. So, but I feel like he's getting sort of like the way he wants to play and stuff and that coming in at the moment. But with the players that he has, obviously they're not what he wants or needs at this precise moment. So for me, I put him there for a minute. Obviously, with where they are in the league, innit? I know he's got a semi-final coming up for the Europa League, but I genuinely feel I think with a transfer window of the summer go under his belt, if he gets the players that he wants, I feel like he can do okay next season. I wouldn't say he'll win the league, but I feel he'll get him in a better position next season. And I don't think we've seen the best of him as yet. And I feel like I feel they rushed into getting him, but he went there when he went there. So we'll see how he goes. But that's why I ranked him there.
Okay. Sub, you ranked Almiron 9th. Can you tell me why?
It's for a Premier League man. It's too soon really to say what he's gonna do. It's early days for him, innit? And as Chris said, give him a couple of transfer windows. Man United's in mud at the moment, so he needs to do what he needs to do to turn it around. But to judge him this season that's more not him as a manager, but him as a Premier League manager. That's why it's on this season. That's why I've put him down there. He just needs his time. It's too soon. Too soon to make a call. Put him right up at the top anywhere.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Nana, as a United fan, you have put your manager 10th. Could you explain why?
I did. The list you gave, I thought that was a dead list still, because there was there was someone missing, so I added them. You missed out Nuno.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I'm surprised he weren't on there.
Exactly. So I added him. That's why he was 10. But anyway, I think that I agree with part of what Chris has said. I think he's a decent manager. I think he's actually a really good manager. He reminds me of Ferguson in terms of his decision making, in terms of personnel. Ferguson taking over, not taking any nonsense, shaping the team in his image, being given time, and then you reap the benefits. He's done it, at Porto, Sporting. In 3 years, you will see the real Amorim, and he hasn't got the ammunition that he wants to do the job that he's paid to do. There's a lot of lumps of wood in red at United right now, and that needs to be cleared out. There's people who are playing for the money. There are people who are walking around the pitch. You can see what he wants to do, but he doesn't have the people that he can trust to do that. So in a few years, at least one full season, one full transfer window under him, we can then make a decision based on, is he a good manager or not. However, the table doesn't lie in terms of his results. Hence, I put him at 10 to show that at the moment he's not doing well. Whatever he has at his disposal, he hasn't done well. He's been plagued with injuries and all sorts as well. But the table doesn't lie. So yeah, at the moment he's by the list that you gave us is by far one of the worst. There, I only shifted Tottenham to the bottom because Postecoglou is just it's just a nonsense. That's why he's 10th. So Tottenham will be 11th. That's all.
Okay. Let's go to the 8th place manager.
Whoa. What about your opinion?
So I put Amorim. What did I put him? Let me have a look. I put him 10th. He's awful. He's absolutely dog. He's so lucky that there's 3 worst teams in this, Premier League. And if it wasn't because of Bruno, I genuinely think that they would actually be relegated. Yes, he's come in to actually transform and change how United play. However, a sign of a good manager is to look at the players that he or she has and literally work with them rather than trying to fit them into a system.
Can I ask you a quick question, then? Mm-hmm. If Slot went to Man United, because obviously he's doing what Liverpool. If Slot went to Man United and inherited the exact same team, do you think he'll do better?
Yes.
With the current way that Man United are. So think about it. Remember, Man United are making cuts. Man United are like Sub said, Man United are in the mud. So you generally feel like if Slot went there, Slot could do a much better job than Amorim with the way that Man United is actually structured, not on the pitch as a whole club. How they're structured, do you think he could do a better job?
But Slot isn't a financial advisor.
No, I'm not. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's not divert from the question. It's a simple yes or no answer. No, he inherits everything that Amorim has inherited. The club is exactly the same way that the club is now with Slot at manager. You think that Slot will do a better job?
As a coach, as a manager, or as a coach, should I say yes? And it's got nothing to do with the money coming in and out of United.
It is though. It is because if a club is in turmoil as Man United are, let's be real, Man United are a massive fall from grace. They're not the club that everyone knows them as. They're not as frightening and as powerful as they are, yeah? He's gone in. Remember, he was flying at his other. He was flying in Lisbon. He didn't have to leave, but he did.
Weaker league.
No, but he doesn't. But so was Eredivisie. Eredivisie is a shocking league. So it's just on par. You know what I mean? So, but I'm saying, like, this is what I'm saying. We're making a judgment of a manager. Slot and Amorim have inherited two different teams with two different dynamics of what's happening. I get it. Slot has come in and done well, but they've inherited two different situations.
You're absolutely right, Chris.
And I think we're judging him way too quick. He's only lower down because of for me personally, he's only lower down because I don't feel like he's had enough time, or yet there's not been enough time for him to actually show. If he goes into next season and it's the exact same thing, then you can judge him.
Well, like,
you can't say that a manager who's won league titles in Portugal. Yes, the league is different, and the style of play within 3 years when he's taken over a team which is mid-table and gotten them to win league titles, you can't say it's a bad manager. Like I said before, there's lots of lumps of wood in red at United right now. You can't judge him that now. I'm a United fan and I put him at 10 based on what they are, what the table says and what the other managers are doing. But he hasn't got the firepower to do what he wants to do.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I think this is why football fans are so fickle. Everyone was on about Rashford, saying it like he's lost it, and he's lost his love for football, etc. He goes to Aston Villa and he's pulling up trees, and literally people are scratching.
What trees?
Not necessarily, because not necessarily. 1 minute. Not necessarily, because if we're correct, the same thing that happened to Rashford. Remember, Rashford is currently one of the high, if not the highest paid player at Man United, right? Yes or no? Right. So he's the highest paid player at Man United, right? If I'm correct, did not something similar happen to Cristiano Ronaldo when he was currently one of the highest paid players at Man United? That they tried to usher him out the door. So if you're in a toxic environment where you're not wanted, of course you're going to underperform. He's now gone somewhere where he feels comfortable. He's able to just play his football. And also remember, even though Villa are doing well, Villa's not under the spotlight like a Man United. So if he doesn't do so well at Villa, it's not going to be scrutinized as much as he's going to be at Man United, especially where Man United should be. Man United, even though Man United are in the mud, Man United are still seen as one of the biggest clubs in the world. So if you go there, no matter wherever they are in the league now, you're still going there to be a player that should be pushing them up the leagues.
Chris, you're right in terms of spotlight. You're right in terms of spotlight, but I don't think Rashford was unwanted at United. Over the course of since when Rashford burst into the scene at 18, them Arsenal games, then Europa League games, and all that. You know Rashford's potential. You know what he can do.
Yeah, but I get that.
Hang on. But over the last few years,
go on.
You can see his attitude, his application on the field of play. Not that he's not wanted, but sometimes as a United fan, he feels like he's too big, and he doesn't want to do what he's meant to do. You've seen Rashford not tracking back. It's not being wanted. It was the same thing under Ten Hag before he left. In terms of his performances, he started brilliantly, and then again his form dips, and he's been inconsistent all the way through. Rashford has the potential to be a Ballon d'Or winner. We all know that. He's an absolute baller, but you have to apply yourself. You can laugh what you want to Breeze, but Rashford is an absolute baller. He has the potential to be a world-class player.
He is a good player. Exactly. Anyone will take him.
But you have to apply yourself.
My thing is, I think the toxic traits in the club is, you've got to remember, if they're making so many dynamic changes in the club, yeah, you need to get that wage bill off of your list.
Okay.
But this is nothing to do with wage bill, though.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is because
I can show you six. I can show you 6, 7, 8 clips of Rashford.
We can't
Not even
digest.
tracking back.
Sorry,
Not even tracking. Just prancing
You know
around.
what?
Not even.
Yeah.
Come
We
on,
are
man.
digesting from the
Anyway.
topic. Actually,
Anyway.
so is there anything that you want to say before we go on to like the next manager?
No, man, I'm glad Man United are in the mud like this.
Me too. Me too.
Fair play.
All right. We are going to go on to number 8. So number 8, Nana has got this guy at 11th. I have got this guy at 9th. Sub has got this manager at 10th. And Chris has got this manager. I believe it's his manager at. Oh, it's so hard. Going in and out, in and out, in and out. Where are you, Chris? Where are you, Chris? I got you here. 6. Okay.
Really?
Wow. Okay. All right.
Wow.
And wait. And this guy is Ange. Let's start with you, Sub. Why have you got him where you do?
He's had a mare, isn't he? He's just as bad down there. Obviously I'm a Palace fan, and this is the first time I've ever seen teams like Man United and Tottenham below us, and they're not small. How can you go from Champions League status to this drop? And it's just they're not getting it right at all down there. And I don't know if it's the club as well. I don't know what and I see Tottenham as one of the big 6. I see Tottenham as a big club, but what is going on with all these so-called big 6? Look at Man City as well. So I don't know whether I'm doing it more of how the club is and then to how he is as a manager. But what is happening? You've seen it with Man City this season as well. No one fancied it this year. Everyone thought, oh, that's just whatever, because that's how the season feels. It's gone, and he's just been in there just on a mad one,
Yeah. Nana.
Can Wizard go first? Because that's his manager, isn't it?
Yeah. Go on then, Wizard. So why have you got him 6th place?
That's not order, man.
Should I talk now? Shall I talk?
Yeah, go on then.
You got any more videos? You got any more videos?
Plenty of them. Plenty.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't think. Do you know what the thing is? Yeah, the funny thing about it is when we were flying before we had all the injuries, not everyone was talking about how he was a good manager, and then obviously we had multiple injuries within the team, and you think about with all them injuries, we're still in the Europa League semi-final, right? With the possibility of winning a trophy. For me, it doesn't cover up cracks because I don't think he's like an outstanding manager. But for me, I think like Sub said, the club. I don't think the club are doing great within themselves. I think Daniel. I'm not a massive fan of Daniel Levy anyway because I think he's very business orientated, where it's like money making and stuff like that. I feel he doesn't care how the club does because of the amount. Because I think if you look at the change of managers we had within a short space of time, he's something like the sixth or seventh manager we've had in a short space of time. So I think that also speaks volumes into how things happen behind closed doors with him as a manager. Because I think when you actually look at it, he actually came in and was doing well. Was flying, and then we had a mad slap of injuries. Basically, I'd say half of the team were out injured. Our whole backline, goalkeeper, then our midfielder. And one thing that does frustrate me about him though is that his stubbornness doesn't help him. As in, like, as a manager, as a manager, as a coach, he should always have a plan B. And I feel like he does have a plan B, but I feel like he doesn't choose to utilize that plan B, which then shoots him in the foot, where it's like, we're going to play this way no matter what, and then we get caught out. And I think that's one of the issues. I generally don't think he's that bad of a manager. I think his stubbornness is what kills him. And I think that's what's killing him right now as a manager. You know, look, if we go away and if we go out and get into final of the Europa League and possibly win it, it still doesn't cover the cracks of what's happening. And then vice versa with certain other clubs as well. You know what I mean? And as a Tottenham fan, yeah, I don't like where we are. I don't like where we are at the moment. But then what do? You go and get a next manager in, and the exact same thing happens? Because that's all that's going to happen. How many times would have sat here and been like, Conte, Mourinho, you know, the only manager that really Levy sort of believed in and gave a really strong backing to was Poch, which then got us into a Champions League final. All the other managers, he makes out like he backs them, but he doesn't. So for me, it'll be interesting to see how the season finishes. But that's why I put him there, because of, you know, I feel like he's done okay, especially in a team that people don't really like. Some will say he thinks he'll be a top 6, but if you speak to many other people, they won't say that really.
Okay, Nana, you put him 11th. I mean, I don't know how you put him 11th, but hey.
Yeah, because I put Lino from Northern Forest. I put him in there. I thought he deserved a mention. That's why I put him.
No, he does. He does.
Yeah. I think that again, Chris said it all. Postecoglou is very naive and very stubborn. The Premier League is like no beast he's ever encountered.
Mm-hmm.
And he shouldn't come in, because I listen to some of his interviews and says, like, this is the way I am, this is the way I'm going to do it, and you know, until the day I die. That's very naive. Then that's very stubborn, because we all know how the Premier League is. You can't, for example, play a high line and think that the high line is going to continuously work and that teams are not going to figure you out. You can't. It's a bit like United in a way. Like, this is what you have. You've had injuries, but this is what you have. But you still want to play the same way that you want to play. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And he keeps on doing the same thing. I sympathize with him a little bit because of some of the injuries. But again, the table doesn't lie. As they're behind United, I put him behind United. The table doesn't lie. That's the reason why he's down there.
Yeah. I put Ange 9th. Shocking, I think. Absolutely shocking. I think you guys have summed it up. Someone who's so stubborn, very naive to, well, shouldn't really be that naive now to like the Premier League. I think it's his second season, right, Chris? It's his second season.
Yeah.
So
well, he came in. I think it's like season and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, season and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, do I agree with Chris in terms of Daniel? You know what? Daniel Levy's done an amazing job in terms of transforming Spurs into a multi-functioning brand. You know, it's not really a football team; it's a brand, and you know, I think that's kind of how football is like going to become. It's a kind of entertainment entity now, and literally, Daniel Levy is literally at the forefront of like things like that. So you guys are going to be fine in terms of everything, you know, beyond the kind of financial realms of like football.
Yeah, but the football fans don't care about that, Therese.
No.
The football fans don't care about that.
They have to care because, and again,
They don't. Football fans, like you said, they want to win a game of football.
Let me
see
finish.
their teams.
Let me finish. Because again, I think Sub could probably answer this better than me. Sub is a Palace fan, and for the past probably decade now, Palace have been I would say a sustainable, established Premier League team. Before that, they were a yo-yo team going in and out of the league. And again, so please correct me. Do you think it's better for? And again, I'm kind of digressing slightly. as a Palace fan, what's more important for you? Sustainability of your club or winning games in the Prem?
There was nothing like going Rotherham away. I tell you that. That's how you look at it. We weren't just a yo-yo club though to Bridge. We nearly like out completely twice, nearly financially gone. Everything like give Parish his due. He's come in and he's transformed it. And you know my my kids don't know nothing different apart from Palace being in the Premier League. But you know our stadium was having wooden seats still. And we got Sainsbury's attached to us. That's all changing. We're all getting updated. And like that's how we didn't even own our stadium. That's where Palace didn't even own the stadium. Like, and to have it all now, and you can see the changes, and it's drawn fans in. Palace pretty much packed out all the time now. Before I used to go, there's 6,000 people there, and half of them have got a free ticket. So that yeah.
Yeah. So
can I just add to that quickly? Yeah, no, and this is not a disrespect to Palace, but you're asking like Sub just said, yeah, you're asking a fan that had that you just said nearly went as a club, nearly folded as a club due to financial issues, right? And now you're asking him, oh, would you rather be sustainable or win stuff? Of course, you'd rather be sustainable because you're no disrespect, but if you're a club that were really struggling and were up and down, you'd rather be sustainable than win stuff because you're not going to be in anything to win. Now, if you go and ask someone who's like an Arsenal fan, would you rather be sustainable or go back to winning titles and winning trophies? The Arsenal fans are going to turn around and say, I'd rather win trophies and win titles. So the question's irrelevant in a way to that. You ask I get what you're trying to say. Yes, you want to be sustainable, but as a football fan, so as a football fan, I'm not going to sit here going, oh, do you know what? I don't care how my team get on. As long as we're making money and we're all right. No, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I don't care if we don't win the semi-final. No, I want us to win the semi-final of Europa League because I want to go and be in the final so we can go and win something. You know what I mean? Like the question you asked is nonsense. You can't. Yes, you want to be. Everyone wants to be sustainable because that's how you survive in football. I'm going to tell you now, Sub don't want to sit there as a Palace fan and not win anything. He wants to at least see Palace win something within years. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be a Palace fan sitting there thinking, oh, I don't care that we didn't win nothing, but at least we stayed in the Premier League. No. You want to win trophies. So, yes, you want your club to be sustainable, but you also want your club to have a trophy to put in the cabinet. And obviously, you're saying that as a Liverpool fan because Liverpool have won stuff in recent years. So, of course, you can say that. I just thought that the question you asked was a bit nonsense there, if I'm honest.
no,
Exactly. My point exactly.
Hold on. Like Liverpool haven't been campaigning, and all asking the same question. Like, let's be real here. You're a United fan. There was an interview out where Sergeant Ratcliffe said that we didn't know if we were going to have enough money by the turn of the year. Like, didn't happen. And again, that's the reason why you guys had to have your cuts. And we're talking about supposedly the biggest club in the world. So now, you know, and again, like with like all Manchester United's glory days, Nana's team, Manchester United, could have also collapsed.
Have you been to Man United recently?
I've not.
Have you been to Old Trafford?
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever been.
I've
Right.
actually been.
Have you been to Old Trafford? Have you seen how outdated the stadium is? Have you seen how outdated majority of the stuff of the club is? I was at Man United on Thursday, right? I went to their youth academy training ground to play a tournament. Their training ground, barring their pitch, their training ground is awful. You go in there, it's like you're going into a time capsule of the 1990s. So, yes, he's got to make budget cuts. Hence why I went back to Rashford being on such a high wage bill. For you to survive, you need to get that wage bill off of your budget because then you still have money to survive. He's on over like 300 grand a week. Of course, you don't need that as your wage bill because he's now taking half of the money. There you go, friends. But then he's still on too much money. So hence why I was saying earlier, yes, it might not look like that, but he maybe didn't feel wanted because they were trying to usher him out the door because they need to get his wage off of the books. So again, yes, Man United are not a sustainable club right now because they're in the mud. And not many people want to go and watch them because of what's happening. again behind closed doors.
No. Do you want your club to be right now to be sustainable or to win games?
A bit of both.
No. It's not a bit of both. It's like one.
No.
You see,
I can explain. Yeah, I can explain.
I just want one.
No. I'm not going to give you an answer of one.
At this present moment, do you want your club to be sustainable or win games?
Listen, it comes hand in hand, right? It comes hand in hand.
Of course it
Both
does.
of them come. Of course it does. Listen, we can't keep on thriving on glory days of United. United is still touted as one of the biggest clubs in the world. Honestly, it's not anymore. It's just got the name because of past glory. A lot of teams have surpassed that in the footballing sense, in sustainability, etc. The club needs a huge overhaul because of the debt and all that. However, the majority of fans who pay the season tickets and tune in every day, every weekend, every Saturday to watch a game of football, they want to see United win. So that all the nonsense that's going on behind the scenes in the club, they can get a bit of reprieve. They can get a bit of joy to see what's happening. Look, United lost today, Wolves, right? Thursday,
Sorry, you lost. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I didn't expect a win anyways, because we got bigger fish to fry. If we win that Europa League, we're back in the Champions League, wherever we are. So it's bigger fish to fry. And I saw the lineup. It's like a second string team. As soon as I saw the lineup, I knew what the manager, his intentions were. However, the Thursday night, that game gives every United fan hope. It's just an amazing game of football. That the United spirit is still there. So it's not only about sustainability, but it's also about winning games. I'll buy a jersey every season. I've got jerseys for the last 15 years for United, and I have them all currently. So I'm invested in the club, but that's my news. People have season tickets. Everything else, people go to the stadium every single week. They go there because they want to see United play football and win a game of football, and that's a proper plan for you. So yes, United to be out of debt and sustainable, but they want to see United win a game of football. Hence, United and Spurs are at a similar level right now. But again, the reason I put Ange at the bottom behind United is that the table doesn't lie.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't. But also, you become sustainable by winning stuff. That's how you become sustainable.
Exactly. But so
by winning trophies, by finishing in certain positions in the league is how you become sustainable.
True, but then how is Spurs sustainable right now as a brand? Because not winning nonsense.
So I'll tell you how it becomes sustainable. Because what he's done with the club is he's built a stadium that has become a multi-purpose stadium. That's how they become sustainable. Because when you think about what we do on that stadium, right? He's got a retractable pitch that becomes an NFL pitch. You're already making billions off of that, right? You are already got however multiple concerts that are going to be held there. That's how you become sustainable. That's how he's becoming a sustainable club. Because when you actually look back at it, the stadium alone will then pay for itself. Hence why we'll become, as you say, a sustainable club. Yeah, that's why
United are also trying to build a new pitch.
Well, that's why they're trying to build a new stadium, because then they can become sustainable themselves in that way. But then the way you become sustainable as well is by winning certain things. You think about it, you finish a certain place in the league, you earn so much money because of the rights you're going to have on TV, however much money you're going to make for being in Champions League and stuff like that. That's how you become a sustainable club. If you're finishing mid-tables and stuff like that, you're literally living off of what you're going to make via people buying stuff, people coming in to watch your games and stuff like that. And then however far you get in the FA Cup, how much TV rights you get with games you're going to be watched on TV. That's that. You win stuff, you earn more money. Simple.
Yep, cool. Yeah, so Ange finished 8th, and I don't think Spurs are going to win anything for the next decade, but that's for another conversation.
Okay, well, cheers, mate.
We will we will now go on to the 7th place team, and this is joint 7th. So Sub has got these 2 managers, 2nd and 4th respectively. Chris has got these 2 managers, 9th and 10th respectively, and Nana has got these 2 managers. Let me have a look. Nana's got one of them 8th and then another one 9th. And the 2 managers that I'm speaking about, David Moyes and Glasner. Let's start with you, Nana. Why have you got these 2 managers? Where have you got them? You've got them 8th and 9th, respectively.
You're on mute, Nana. Nana, you're on mute.
I've only got Moyes 9th, not 8th and 9th, mate. Just check your records.
No. As says Glasner, you've got Glasner 8th and Moyes 9th, respectively. See, you wasn't listening.
Right. No, you need to speak better English. Anyway. Anyway, so again, the table doesn't lie in terms of where Palace were, where Everton were. I think especially Moyes coming back to his former club has rejuvenized them and give them a solid foundation. They were in a relegation battle. They were likely to get relegated, but he stabilized the ship. And Moyes is quite meticulous, and he will build the club back up. I don't think he's anything other than a mid-table team in terms of this manager, Moyes. So that's where they're going to be. When you go to Glasner against, in terms of Palace and all the back and forth from Vieira to whoever up to now, Palace have good infrastructure, good academy, etc. They should be doing a lot better than they are. But again, he stabilized them because Palace have always, for the last couple of seasons, they've been drifting between I'll say 12 and 15, 16, almost flirting with the relegation teams. But again, he stabilized them. But if you see the table again, where they are, again, the table doesn't lie. So they are no better than the managers I've put ahead of them in terms of their achievements this season, but they've done incredibly well in terms of stabilizing the clubs. That's why I put them where they are.
Chris?
Yeah, look, I like them both. I think they're all right managers. I think Moyes is obviously known for getting people out of the mud, which he has done with Everton. I think the job that Glasner's done with Palace is amazing. I think he's done really well with them. And but for me, I don't know. That's just where I put them. To be fair,
9th and 10th, and I put Ange 6th and put Amaron 8th.
Okay, because I think they're better.
That was a very sentimental vote.
What do you want me to say? I think they're better. What do you want me to say?
This season,
yeah, better than Ange.
It doesn't matter. You asked my opinion. You asked my opinion. I told you my opinion. I think I think them two are better managers. I think them two are better managers than them.
This season. This season.
I think they're better managers than them. Do I need to go on? I've told you.
This season, though. Like this season. I'm not talking about overall. I'm talking about this season.
Yeah, and I'm saying I still think they're better.
Even though they are higher than you, they are better than them.
Are either of them in the European semi-final?
Your bread and butter is the league, man.
I don't care. Are either of them in the semi-final?
FA Cup semi-final.
Mm-hmm. There you go. But are they in the European semi-final? Okay, thanks.
Next season.
Okay, let's go. Okay. So
go with Moisey first. I always think this is an underrated achievement when people come out and take teams who look like they're going down and turn it around. Everyone goes, "Oh, like, he's not." Yeah, they haven't won anything, but Everton were. I would have put money on Everton going down at the beginning. They was terrible. Like they were worse than Palace, and Palace were bad at the beginning of the season.
You're absolutely right.
And then he's come in and he's he's obviously is his third spell? Is his third spell at Everton, isn't it?
I think he's second.
Second. Yeah.
He's obviously attached to it. And let's be fair, when he was at Everton before, they was a top 4 team. Everton. When Moisey was there before.
No.
Yes.
No, top 7. Not top 4.
I think they finished fourth about 2-3 times under him.
No. Once.
There or thereabouts. But yeah, he's done a good job there, and he'll go. That's his club, isn't it? Like he's had a bad little journey recently. He had a nice little run at West Ham, but I think what he's done there just to bring them back up, I think that's a good job. And obviously I'm biased with Ollie Glasner. Chris, he's going to be Tottenham's manager next because that's who they're after. That's who they're saying they're getting in. That's all the rumours. But
I wouldn't want him.
He's at the back end of last season. Obviously, we had that unbeaten run. That was unbelievable. Took us right up this year. But Palace as a club, we do this. This is why we're not a big club. We're just a middle club. We start poor, then we have a good run, and then we get to a semi-final or something, and we get semi-final syndrome, where none of the players want to play their best, where they're pulling out of challenges, don't want to get injured, they don't want to do that because this is you got to think mid-table team, semi-final of an FA Cup is probably as big as it gets for some of them players. So that's their moment, and they're not messing it up, going to Man City away. Like we only conceded 12 goals away before we played our last 2 away games. We conceded 10 in the last 2. It's mad, and but Ollie's done good. I do fancy us to beat Aston Villa. I think we got it, and then luck of the day in the FA Cup final. But this season, I think he's had a worldie with us.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. I think Glasgow at Palace has kind of stepped them up that extra level. I think Eze, it's going to be very interesting to see if Eze stays next season. How old is he now? 27, 28?
Yeah, I mean, and this is another thing. This is why I put teams like Tottenham and that in the top bracket, because as a player, what you're going to want to play? Stay at Selhurst Park or go and play at the new Spurs ground? It's unbelievable there. Week in, week out. Go and play at Liverpool. Go and play at these bigger clubs. And we're always going to be that team that will get a starlet player, and we have to sell them because you can't hold players back like that. They have to, Zaha, we had to let him go eventually. And Eze's the next one now. Elise, Carl, we were punching keeping a player like Elise at the club. Let's be right. And look what he's doing now. Champions League, but Bayern Munich, like it's unbelievable. Yeah. We're not that club, Palace. We as much as I want us to be, we're just not that club.
Okay. I can beg to differ. I think you're kind of definitely better than, I'd say, like the Fulhams and Spurs is this season anyway. But listen, again, I think you're punching. It's going to be very interesting to see if Glasner actually wants to stay at Palace, or if this Spurs room, I'm not too sure, but probably Chris can probably talk about it a lot more. I mean, Chris, would you want Glasner at Spurs?
No.
Why not?
I just don't think he's our sort of manager.
But what's your type? Well, actually, what's your type of manager?
Not him.
Okay.
They want Poch back. They want Poch back.
I'll take Poch back at a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's what all the Tottenham fans say.
So Pochstaki was one of the weirdest ones I saw.
It's again, it's Levy's narrative, isn't it? Levy's narrative, because Poch more like he wanted a bit more freedom in certain things in the transfer market, and and Levy weren't going to have that. What you got to remember is, yeah, especially with Tottenham, Levy has a lot of control over transfers. Hence why there's been a big disagreement with a lot of the managers. Mourinho said it, Conte said it. You know, big managers that have come to the club have said he wants full control over, or he wants majority of control over what transfers are made. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of managers won't want to go there. Because you think about it, you go there as a manager, yes, the club kind of have a say, but you really want your transfer targets that you want to at least fit the style of play that you want to play. If you've got a chairman or you've got an owner that's turning around going, no, we're going to buy a player that's fit for the club, but they don't fit your style of play, what's the point? And I think the only reason why we would get someone like Glasner is because Glasner will become a yes man and will go under what Levy would want.
Okay, fair enough. I put Moyes third and I put Glasner seventh. I think Sub touched upon it regarding what Moyes did at West Ham. I think be careful what you wish for, West Ham supporters. You guys were definitely punching when Moyes was there, and you know Moyes' first season with Everton got them in the Champions League. You know, consistently a top 6 club, amazing players, very organised. He could have knows like the Premier League. You know, like not just the Premier League. I think he knows football really, really well. Yeah, that's why I got him at third, and yeah. I think Glasner, exactly what I said about Glasner. I think he's doing okay there. Doing all right. We are going to go on to the manager that everyone's ranked 6th. So, Sub has got this manager. What was it now? Who was it? Yeah. Let me have a look. 7th. Chris has got this manager 5th. And Nana has got this manager, I believe, pretty high as well, 5th. So yeah, this averages out pretty well. And this manager is where is he? Thomas Frank. Let's start with you, Chris. Why did you rank Thomas Frank where you did? Which was, let me just remind you again, 5th.
I just think what he's done at Brentford is an amazing job. He's took them from being a struggling club to now, you know, a really established Premier League club. You know, they went from he's done so well that they went from having no academy to now kind of having like an academy just running. So, you know, it says volumes of what he's done as a manager. I think he's a good manager, to be fair.
Let's go on to Nana.
Yeah, likewise. Coming from the Championship into the Premier League, the stats shows that a lot of these teams that come to the Premier League go right back down. And the way he's got Brentford playing, they're quite fearless. And they look like a club who are going to be around for a considerable period of time. And this touches on sustainability, the style of play and all that. But Brentford on a good day can beat any team in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think it's been amazing. It's an amazing job. It's an incredible job. And he's going to be here for a while.
And Sub, you have ranked Thomas Frank 5th.
Yeah, he's 7th.
7th.
Yeah. But it's not put him low down because of I think he's bad. I think he's done well there. Like they're an established Premier League team, as we've been saying. Like it's Brentford Premier League proper team. Like it's not, you know, not messing around. Like their stadium's fantastic. You know, they're enjoyable to watch. They play football as well. That's a proper footballing squad there. It's and he's been at the forefront of it. So yeah, fair play to him and fair play to Brentford.
Yeah. I put him 5th. Yeah, I think middle of the road. Seems like a likable guy. Very media friendly, and again, like he's got players that. But I think the opposition, especially if like Brentford are like on it, can give a lot of teams problems. So yeah, Thomas, yeah, you've done well. Let's go on to the 5th. And again, please, people in the comments, people who are watching, also make sure that you like have your 10, and literally, if there's any managers that have missed off that like you think should be on this list afterwards, please put it in the comments. So this manager 5th, we have got Sub that's got this manager 6th. We've got Nana that's got this manager 4th, and Chris has got this manager 7th. And the manager's name is. So let's make sure we get him. Where is he? Where is this guy? Marco Silva. So, why did you put Marco Silva 6th?
Fulham or another club like flying. I think they're flying under him. Hard to play against. I watched them a few times this year. Just bar the FA Cup. They're just doing well. He knows his stuff. He's got them playing to how they was playing a few years back. Another solid Premier League team. Like, don't get me wrong, they're never going to push for Champions League or anything, but I think they're the next sort of team that's pushing on that Europa League door. I like to see them in one of them tournaments, see how they do. Especially like I got them. What's the who's he got scoring up front? The short white fella.
Not Muniz?
No. He come off the bench and he done us as well.
Wilson.
Wilson. Like getting players like that just playing like I hate watching Palace lose, but it was watching them. I like watching football. Like, I like actual football being played. Forget the long balls. I like the passing when you pass through, and they're just doing it. His style of football is working down there.
Chris, you've got him 7th.
Yeah, sorry, you keep muting my mic, so I weren't sure if I was allowed to talk or not.
No, because literally every time Sub speaks, there's an echo, and it's your mic because
No, maybe because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, don't have to do things.
Yeah, no, I like him. Good manager. Would he do well at a top club? Who knows? But I think he's done well. He's got Fulham playing good football. It'd be interesting to see where they finish at the end of the season if they do finish in a European spot, or if they can push for Europa League or Conference or whatever. And yeah, I like it. And you can see he's got the backing of the club, which obviously helps. Fulham believe in him as a coach, as a manager. Hence why he's able to flourish and do what he's doing. And again, the players seem to believe in him as well. Hence why he's getting the best out of them. Like you said, like with Wilson, who, he says he wants to play, he wants to be a starter, but comes off, does his job. He's been doing well. But yeah, I like him. He's a good manager.
Nana?
Nothing much to add in terms of what they've said. It's stabilized Fulham. They're actually playing football. And the thing is, when you look at some of the budgets the managers are operating with, as opposed to some of the other clubs, it's a fantastic job.
Who was the Fulham's manager before Marco Silva? I can't remember.
Was it Scott Parker?
Yeah, it was.
Wait, that's a few seasons ago.
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
Martin Scott Parker.
Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember.
Scott Parker seems like ages ago, isn't it?
Was it?
Mm,
Well, it could
don't
be
think it was that
wrong.
long ago.
It wasn't wrong, was it? It was what was it? Let me Google. Because so the only reason why I'm asking is, and again, I think Marco Silva is okay, but if he was an English manager or a British manager, do you think would be so wax lyrical about him in terms of where like Fulham are right now?
If he was an English manager,
Yeah, because okay, so Fulham are not pulling up trees. They're just, again, middle of the road. They are probably now on that holiday. But actually, if an English manager did exactly what Marco Silva's done for Fulham, do you think would be rating that English manager or British manager highly?
it depends, isn't it? It depends what manager you get in, doesn't it? Really, it depends on what manager you have in the club, I guess. Because if you get an English manager that's meant to be a highly rated English manager and they don't do well, then you'll be disappointed. I'm assuming if he's gone in as the Fulham manager, people more like didn't expect him to do as well as he's doing, and he is doing this well. Everyone's surprised and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what a manager!" I guess it's like, you know what I mean. Like I think we always say, football is all about opinions, isn't it? So
yeah. So I've just looked here. It was Scott
Parker was the manager. He was the manager from 2019.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, let's see if, and again, without being disrespectful to like Fulham, I wonder if this is Silva's level. That kind of middle of the road Premier League team. Has he kind of got the skills to actually manage, a team in the top six? That's probably going to be like the question next, right?
But I guess it depends, isn't it? Because depending on what you expect from the club, if he goes to let's say he goes to a top club that is guaranteed that are used to having Champions League football and pushing for other trophies, as in like the FA Cup or or the Carabao Cup and stuff, and he doesn't produce that, then he's going to be classed as a failure, isn't he? Where at Fulham, if Fulham is known as a club that is stabilised in the Prem, that will finish mid-table, and they continue to finish mid-table, then he comes in and he's got where they are now, he's going to be classed as a success. Because you don't really see Fulham pushing for certain trophies all the time. So depending on what team he goes to will then justify whether he's a good manager or not.
Interesting take. All right, we're going to go straight to the fourth ranked player from the list. Chris, you have got this manager fourth. So you've got this manager eighth. And Nana, you have this manager seventh. And this manager that we're going to speak about is let's start with you. So you have got him the lowest at eighth. Why have you got him eighth?
Let's be right. He's got funds at his disposal, and he's they're not a Mickey Mouse player. They should be doing a lot better than what they are doing. Like European trophies is what the Newcastle should be celebrating, not like the Carabao Cup or whatever it's called now. Some Mickey Mouse trophy. I see it. I'd love to win it as a Palace fan, but that's what it is. Newcastle are a big club, and what's he done? He's just got them qualify for Champions League once. Like he's not, on this season. Yeah, once again, it's another up and down season. Like is he going to take Newcastle to the next step? I don't think he's the right guy there. They need a, big time, big player manager down there. I just don't think like with the money that they've got, with what they can buy, it's I know they're doing up their ground as well, but they got loads of stuff going on, and it's I think he's just another mid-table manager. He's one who's just overachieving at the moment. Like fair play to him, but I don't think he's like a superstar mind, and he's making it happen. He's just he's coasting through players, which I reckon if you had a higher ranked manager like a Poch or someone like that, you'd see him flying. Oh, good players there as well. Isaac's unbelievable. Like, is he really getting the most out of that squad?
I totally disagree with everything that you just said. With everything. We are talking about this season. I'm not talking about what Newcastle have. I'm talking about this season. Newcastle are third. They've won a trophy, and they have players in this Newcastle team that I would say most teams in Europe would love to have. This season, Eddie Howe is higher than where you put him eighth easily. So
I also don't like Newcastle. That the ex, she was from Newcastle, so I don't like
so the truth is coming out now.
There you go. It's a bit of biasness there as well. But no, but you see exactly what you just said there, though. Like big European clubs would take these players, but they're not knocking on the door to win the league, or trying like top 2, top 3.
But the third.
Yeah, they're not going to stay there.
I think
they're not going to finish there. Do you think?
Ahead of Man City won't put on a challenge, I don't think. And Nottingham Forest are like, trembling. And who else is there? Chelsea are like going to do anything. Spurs are.
It's a point in it. Chelsea, it's a point between. Well, it's 2 points between 7th and 3rd.
Yep.
So it's anyone's game. I just don't think is he strong enough character to do that? Because Pep definitely is. And Chelsea seems to have hit this form.
Okay.
Is he comfortable? He's already secured European football this year.
Nope.
Interesting. Chris, you have got Eddie Howe fourth.
I think he's a good manager. I think if I'm actually sitting there looking at Newcastle's recent league positions, right? They finished. Well, let's go back maybe a couple seasons, right? They finished 13th, 10th, 13th again, 12th, right? And then they finished 11th. He obviously came in, got them into 4th, 7th. I know. Listen, I know they got money. I'm not debating that. But at the same time, you still have to take players that you buy and still coach them to become the team and the players that you need them to be. So as a coach, as a manager, you still have to do that. You can still go and buy great players, but you still got to make them a team. So I get your point. But if you're going off recent things and what he's done, he actually did a good job at Bournemouth. He's a very good manager at Bournemouth with less resources and made Bournemouth an established Prem team, which they are now. Also, you missed out the gaffer from Bournemouth as well. He's actually a good gaffer, to Brees. He's actually doing a good job as well, the Bournemouth gaffer. But for me, I think Eddie Howe as an English manager is actually a very good manager, hence why I put him so high. Yes, he has got the backing of good money and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think what he's done for Newcastle and where he's got them so far, I don't think in recent years, I get what Sub's saying, but I don't think with recent years, you can look at Newcastle and say they should be pushing for European trophies because they've not been anywhere near it to be even pushing for European trophies. I think pushing for domestic trophies right now is the best thing for them, and I think maybe having Eddie Howe could maybe help them do that. I agree. is he good enough to take them to the next level in winning the Premier League and maybe a Champions League? No, I don't see him doing that. But I still think he's a very good manager.
Nana?
Yeah, I've got nothing to say on that one. I think both of them have said everything. He's got enough money. He's got if he's going to be given time to do what the club wants. You've seen Pep come in and get all the money and all the resources, basically buy the Premier League. You've seen even all the way back to Mourinho from Abramovich time, buy the Premier League, that sort of thing. He's got the money to get the right players. Is he the next manager to take them is he the manager to take them to that next level? I highly doubt that. He's a fantastic manager. Where he is right now is testament to what they've been doing. But with the resources at his disposal, I think other managers are doing I'll say slightly better than him. When it comes to Thomas Frank, Silva, I think they're doing better than him. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I had Eddie Howe second. I think he's done pretty well this season. With like everything that's kind of gone on behind the scenes, and of course we kind of wish Eddie Howe speedy recovery. I'm not too sure if he's back from the hospital. I think no. Do you know exactly what happened to him, or is it still? I don't know.
Apparently, pneumonia.
Really?
Mm.
So, actually, a question to you guys: do you think he'll ever coach again, or yeah?
Who?
Eddie Howe.
Well, if he comes out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he will. As long as he has the time to recover, I can't see him not managing anymore.
Wait, why does Teresa ask such stupid questions?
I have no idea.
No, well, listen. I mean, I think all of you. You know what?
The man has not got cancer. He's not terminal. He's got tuberculosis or pneumonia, whatever it is. And you are Thank you. Is he ever going to coach again?
Oh, like you guys just don't let me finish that. Listen, right? All you three, you guys have managed the team, coached at a level. You guys know how strenuous it can be. Yeah. So when you're off with, a very serious illness, it does take you a while to kind of get back into the groove. And we all know
pneumonia is not that serious to raise. People have pneumonia and still play football and do all sorts of activities.
Also, so Bruce, just a quick one. The clubs and stuff that we did, we weren't in a position like him. The guy is at a top, at the moment, professional club that has financial backing. The guy has a whole backroom staff that can help him with everything like that. He can get the backing of where he's got his right hand man that he's had since whatever days he's been managing. He's gonna be able to still do a job with them to support him. When Sub's doing it, Sub's not got about 30 odd other people behind him helping him out. He's more like he got him and one other person. You know what I mean? And a couple of parents that are more like chipping in. But you're asking a question to guys that are doing grassroots football. We're talking about a top flight Premier League manager that's getting paid millions to coach.
Let's just say he's not on NHS healthcare. Okay.
Who's going to come back and coach?
He's not waiting in the queue in the NHS.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's sitting in a private bed. It's more like getting treatment at home.
We'll see. But I mean, okay, I'm just putting it out there. You never know. All right, so that's number 4. So now we are going to top 3. So we're going to go third. So Nana has got this manager 6. And then Chris has got this manager 1st. And Sub has got this manager 5th. And this manager that we're speaking about is... Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Pep Guardiola. Let's gonna go with Chris. Chris, why have you got Guardiola first?
Clearly, I didn't get the memo properly. I thought we was just talking about. I thought we was just ranking the managers, innit? So I ranked him as the best manager. Simple as that. He's the guy's the best at the moment. Well, okay. Are you done? Are you done?
Oh boy.
Is he not the best manager in the Premier League?
Oh Lord.
Right now.
100% he's the best
No.
manager. In the Premier League.
Right now, is he not the best manager in the league?
He's the best manager.
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
not
So I'm
this
waiting for
season.
because
Not this season.
Tabriz wanted to do a whole thing. Is he not the is he not the best manager in the league?
I know, but wait, he's talking about this season though.
No, that's what I said. I didn't read the message properly, innit? So obviously, I've ranked him as I've ranked him where I put him, and I put him there. Well, let me finish what I'm saying. Man, jumping in. I just said I obviously read the message wrong, so I put him where I put him. But you're laughing. But is he not the best manager in the Premier League?
That's not the question.
I don't care. I'll answer the question. Is he not the best manager in the Premier League?
That's not the question I'm asking you.
I don't care about your question. You're laughing. Is he not the best manager in the Premier League?
Oh my gosh! All right, so
yes or no?
So Will.
No. Don't try to skip my question. Is he not the best manager in the Premier League? Forget about this season. I forgot. I didn't answer. I put my thing wrong. That's fine. Near or there, but you're laughing. Is he not the best manager in the Premier League?
Ever or now?
Right now.
Right now.
In general, ever. Could be ever. Is he not the best manager?
No. What?
No. Come on.
Premier League. You take that away from Ferguson?
I'm not. Listen. I'm asking a question.
You said ever. It doesn't come into the conversation as ever.
Nah.
You can't take that away from Ferguson is.
Ferguson, 100%. Number one.
Okay. So is he so currently, barring everything that's happened, he's not the best manager in the Premier League right now?
How do you mean? What do you mean by barring everything that's happened?
Barring everything that's happened now, he's having a terrible season, which is fine. They're allowed to have a terrible season.
Yeah.
But is he not the best? Is he not the best manager in the Premier League right now?
I think let's reel it into the conversation we're having. I understand that you made a book when it comes to that. We get
right,
that.
this man. Everyone.
No. But why? So why are we not answering the question? You want to do the laughing thing, but you're not answering the question.
Could we just answer the bloody question?
What was the question again?
No, I think you might as well do the laughing thing. I don't know how to do it. If I knew how to do it, I'd do the laughing thing. You know what's funny as well? The police have got their banner up because Liverpool are doing okay. let's hope that Pep don't come back and wipe the floor with you guys next season. But then we'll come back here again, and then I'll add the laughing faces.
All right, cool. All right, so you've got Guardiola 5th because because you read exactly what I put down correctly.
Don't get me firing your shots as well. Nah, he's this season hasn't been. Listen, you expect big things from Man City. We do. I feel he's up there in top 3 managers of all time in the Premier League. One of the best managers us lot will see in our generation as well, watching football. But this year, no, he hasn't. Whatever's gone on there, it just hasn't happened for him. And they're still in the semi-final of an FA Cup, and they're still top 4 finish. Like, is that a bad season for Man City? Yes. Is that a bad season for other teams around there? Your Arsenal will take a cup win and a Champions League finish. And they're the teams around them. So let's be fair. Like, he's quality manager, but just not this season. Whether it's him, the squad, whatever's gone on.
Cool. Nana, you have ranked him. I think you ranked him. Let me have a look. I think you ranked him
Sixth.
low. 6, yeah.
6th. Yeah. I think for expectations, I think he's done horrible season. You expect Pep to be challenging for the title, every season. Don't hate me for this. I mean, really don't care whatever anybody thinks. But I've never really rated Pep that high. The reason I say that is this: when you have all that resources at your disposal, yes, you still need a puppet master to tinkle things and make it work. But when you have all these ballers in your squad, and you have at a point you have like 250 million worth of wing backs or right back and left back sitting on the bench, it's very difficult to not succeed. If you have quality on that pitch, again, yes, you have to tinkle them, but at this level, these players, like the Galacticos of the Premier League, you are expected to win something. When he comes from Barcelona, he had all those players with him. He's done his thing. He came to City. Again, he's got all those players. They bought all the players for him, and they've got him exactly what he wants. So he's walked the league. Yes, he's tinkled, to make them what they are. Quadruple winners and all that. It's never seen before. I'd like to see Pep take a team like a Bournemouth or Newcastle before the money and see how he does. That will take if he does well in them situations, that will take my ratings of him to a different level. If you want to compare Pep right now and Nuno right now, what Nuno has at his disposal and what he's achieved this season, and what Pep still has at his disposal, what he's had over the last 4 or 5 years at his disposal, and where he is now, I'll say right now, Nuno of Nottingham Forest is a better manager this season than Pep. Standard.
What a waste of 4 minutes. That's nonsense. What are you talking about? Like,
also, no football will agree with me.
Okay.
Not you to agree.
Okay, so because Pep has earned the right to actually have the resources, because again, like, things were not given to him at Barcelona. Because again, like, he was at Barcelona B, and again, the only reason why Barcelona A even looked at him, because of course, Vela had a reserve match, and she saw how Pep actually molded that Barcelona B team into a team that we all knew and loved. And then of course he went to Bayern Munich, and again there was a few issues there, but hey, you know what? He still earned his crust and still earned his kind of reputation to actually transform and also be a trailblazer. It's just like saying to a CEO of a manager, okay, you can't be another CEO of another manager until you are respectfully a cleaner at another job. Why should a CEO take like a lower paid job at another company to actually prove that they're worth their grain in salt?
I listen to what you just said.
No, hold
on. I listen to yourself.
No, wait. Why should anyone say until Pep takes a Bournemouth to like the promised land or like to like the top 4, I'm not going to rate you? He has already earned his weight in gold in terms of transforming how we look at football already within our own generation. Like, yes, he is.
With what? What I'm saying is he's got everything at his disposal.
Because
yes, he's come through the La Masia system, the tiki-taka football, how they've played, how they've done everything. But he also had the Ronaldinho, the Ibrahimovic, the
right.
Eto'o, the Messi, the Neymars, everybody at his disposal. So if you have those, and I did say, yes, he had to put them together to win the league. But if you have those players, if you're a decent manager, you do wonders. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
If again, I'm saying, so right now, if you put Pep in a Nottingham Forest team, do you think he's going to be able to do the same thing that Nuno has done? That's the question. That's what I'm saying. So you can't tell me that's nonsense, because we will never know. We will never know Pep using mediocre players to win a league. We've known Mourinho to use Porto, Inter, them lot to win a league.
Hold on.
Yes.
But literally,
yes.
I would have let the biggest teams in Portugal enter like Milan.
Those times, no, again, you're not listening. Those times, did you know Porto? Those times, the player, the only big players over there was Deco and Nemlo. He used them to win the league, the Champions League. That's when he became the special one. But I'm saying that Pep has had everything at his disposal. If you're a manager and you have 250,000 worth of wing backs on the bench, come on, man. You have to be an idiot not to be able to do anything special with that. Hence, I'm asking you that simple question. If you take Pep and put him in Nottingham Forest, is he going to be able to bring the same things out that Nuno has brought? We will never know. Hence, I'm saying that I haven't rated him that much, because he's got everything. He's got everything.
Okay, so he's
going to do well.
Okay. All right, so I've got a question for you. Like Ancelotti, everyone puts Ancelotti as probably, let's say, top 3 maybe within our own generation. Let's say top 3. There's like Fergie, there's Pep, and there's Mourinho, and there's Ancelotti. Ancelotti has managed, I'd say, all of the glorious clubs, across Europe. However, he had one blip, which was at Everton. He went to Everton and really didn't really fancy it, or whatever the reason was. And he went straight to Real Madrid when they came calling. Because Ancelotti didn't manage or didn't do well with Everton, are you saying that he's a shit manager? Is that what we're saying now?
Everybody knows that Ancelotti is not a shit manager. And everybody also knows that Pep is not a shit manager. Okay. The reason I'm saying is that, again, the comparison I made is that just the same as Pep, Ancelotti didn't have the resources he had at Everton.
Yes, he did.
So, what?
Yes, he did.
You want to compare the resources Ancelotti had at Everton to which other team?
There was a reason why Ancelotti went to Everton, because they just got bought by, I think it was a Chinese firm. That's the reason why Ancelotti went to Everton, because they could afford him.
Everton can't even buy a player right now. What are you talking about? It was huge. Listen, when that China revolution came,
they got James Rodriguez.
Exactly. For what? For what? Did they buy him outright?
They still got him.
Listen. Wait, somebody help me out. Toby doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, see, God.
Yes, it was that Chinese revolution when all that money came into football from China. Yes, and they bought the club. Where are they right now? Have they been able to? Have they still been able to attract the same players that other teams have?
Will or Wizard, can you please try and bail out Nana? He's digging a huge hole, and he hasn't got the upper body strength to kind of get himself out of it. Go on, can someone help him out? Wizard, help him out.
I'm enjoying myself.
I'm enjoying it as well. About to say the same thing. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, Nana, you're talking nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You are. There is no manager if they've won certain leagues, and actually if they've done certain things in a team which is competing and actually winning stuff, they're not going to go down. It's just with work. If you are a manager, a senior manager, whatever it is, and you go to a next job, you're not going to go down a level. You are literally not going to take a pay decrease just to prove it.
But this is where you are not listening. It's not about taking a pay cut.
If he goes to Bournemouth, he's not earning the same money that he is at Man City.
But this conversation is not about taking the pay cut. It's
So what
about
is-
having the same. Listen, it's the same argument I have. For me, a lot of people say Messi is the best player. I think Ronaldo is, and I have my reasons why. Again, I think in this generation we've seen two players at the highest level, and there's a good argument for both. I think Ronaldo is the most complete player. I think that if you take Ronaldo and put him in a Stoke team that we know, or let's say a Bournemouth team now, I think Ronaldo would at his peak, and Messi at his peak, I think Ronaldo perform better than Messi. Messi has had everybody around him. Everywhere he's been, Ronaldo has been all around the world and has still hit the highest standards, season after season, even up to now in the Saudis. He's still doing what he's doing. That's what I'm talking about. If you take Pep and put him in another team where the budget is lower, and I'm not saying take a pay cut, but is he going to do the same thing that others are doing? All this rating that we've been doing all this evening, we've clearly put some managers ahead of Pep. We've clearly put some managers ahead of those who are already established, especially this season, because we're talking about what resource. We are looking at the resources that they've had. We're looking at the season that they've had, how they've managed to shape and mold the team. Pep has had all this time and all these resources. I expect Pep to be first or second standard. He hasn't this season. This has been his worst season, so far as I'm concerned. And he shouldn't be there with the resources that he had. He is responsible for building that team. He's in charge of, if Pep says, I want this person, they go get that person. Jack Grealish, 100 million. Nonsense. And for like what, 6 months, he had only one goal. Nonsense. And he was on the bench, he was playing, he was doing all sorts. So he has no excuse not to perform. That's the point I'm trying to make. All the other managers have less budgets and are performing this season. That's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let's move on.
Cool. All right. Still really talking nonsense though, but hey, we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
As always, nonsense. We are now going to go on to the second rated manager this season, Chris. And you have got this manager, Chris. Actually, let's kind of go to Chris's one first. Let's see if he's done this properly. You have got this manager third. Sub has got this manager first. And Nana has got this manager third. And this manager is... I've seen him somewhere. There you go. Arteta. Let's start with you, Sub. Why have you put Arteta first?
I need to nip this in the bud. It doesn't mean I like Arsenal. I can't stand Arsenal fans. All they ever go on about is all the past and history, and it drives me crazy. Yeah, but he has done well. You know, fair play to what he's done down there, Champions League. I reckon they got a chance. And I hate saying this because I really do dislike Arsenal fans, like as a collective, not as individual people. But when they get together, they talk the most. Like, and it's been through my whole school time and everything. The Invincibles is probably one of the worst things to happen in football to Arsenal because that's all they ever talk about and stuff. Yeah, and yep. Henry this, Bergkamp that. But this year he's made Arsenal that special team again, and they have that he deserves to be up there, and he's being patient with it, and he's signed the right players, like how good Declan Rice been. It's unbelievable. Like Lewis Skelly, centre midfielders turned him into a world-class fullback. Like it's
Oh, whoa. Not world. Come on. Whoa.
I think
True. Yeah.
Whoa.
He
Yeah.
will be.
I disagree with
He
that.
will be.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, he
World
will
class,
be.
powder, mate.
World class.
He's is he not doing bits? He's not even
Yeah, but
playing that
world class
position.
though.
World class.
You talk Oh my God! Wow!
I got done as well. Listen, he's a good player, but this is what Arteta's done with him. You know, best back line in the Premier League by far.
Yeah, but
Not
what
even
class?
close.
Wow. Okay. So I totally
I don't
disagree.
know why I'm backing Arsenal and I hate them, but I think he's done well there. Like you can't knock what he's done and him as a person, he's done it.
Okay. So this season, finishing second in a semi-final.
I think they're going all the way.
You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
I think
no.
this guy is a secret that's not fun, you know.
No, I hate Arsenal, honest to God. If you see all the
Nah.
group chats I'm in, our players group chat, I just changed the icon to the PSG flag. Like that's the sort of stuff I do. But this guy, you know, he's done wonders down there. He's brought them back up. You can't fault it. They never like Liverpool just dominated so early on, didn't they? Let's be fair, this season, like. Can you say Liverpool's right? They've won the league, Liverpool. So yeah, they've had a great season. But really, was it better when they won it with Klopp? The way they played, 100% it was. Like, but he's knocking on the door, and I feel like there's a buzz at that. He's got a buzz in that team where they think they can go, as a minimum to the Champions League final.
Okay.
Remember,
Totally disagree with
they've
you.
already done PSG.
What?
They've done them in the tournament already.
Okay, so that means they're gonna do them again.
I reckon so.
So if like Catford beat LSU Masters 3-0 in a friendly, that automatically gives us the right to say we will beat you again.
Well, we have.
With the form Catford was on this season, then yeah, I would say you would. Yeah, and considering how we've been, that's obviously a different story. But the way you lot have been playing, you got to favour you in most games now, and that hates me to say that as well. But I would favour you.
Okay, well we'll let you talk about bets shortly. Anyway, let's kind of go to Chris. Chris, you have got Arteta in third.
I think he's done well this season. Obviously, personally, if he don't, well, he's not going to win. I can't see him win the league. But if he doesn't go and win Champions League, it's a failure. So where do you put him in? Where do you put him as the managers? Because he's had, what's the project been now? What, 6 years?
Yeah,
5, 6 years, and he's still hasn't got a league or Champions League to show for it. So I think this is obviously his best chance to put himself in the running of being a very, very good manager if they go and win the Champions League. But he has to go and do it. So hence why I put him in third, because yes, he has done an okay job. I think sometimes the football they play is horrendous to watch. But, they've done well. I think the Rice signing is now starting to come into its own. I think he's doing really well. But yeah, they have to go win the Champions League. For him to at least have a successful time at Arsenal, he has to go and win it. Especially you can't go. For me, barring what they've done in all the other part of the competition, you can't go and turn over Real Madrid like you did, and now go and mess up against PSG. It can't happen. If you lose to PSG, then you failed, and that's just my opinion. But I think people are writing off PSG. PSG look so much better. I think PSG now look better than they did when they played Arsenal the first time. They look such a different team. Don't get wrong, and that's Arsenal got one over on them because they beat them already. But I feel like this PSG now that Arsenal are going to be playing are totally different, and I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what Real Madrid were, because I think Real Madrid were absolutely terrible. And listen, and I'm not taking anything away from Arsenal. You still have to go to the Bernabeu, and you beat them over 2 legs. Listen, I take my hat off to them. They did really well, and I watched both games with my friends, and I hate Arsenal. I hate Arsenal with a passion, but I still turned around and said, you know what? Over 2 legs, they deserved it. But you can't turn over Real Madrid as you did and then go and lose and not win the Champions League. That's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, facts, 100%. I totally agree. And Nana?
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of us now to know what's coming. Serial bottle jobs. You know, that when have we seen them having such a high lead and then bottling it? You know, playing so well and then having nothing to show for the season. It's been 5-6 years. What, 5 years now since he took over, almost 6 years. And I think his only thing that he has to show for is FA Cup 2019-2020, I believe. Now, for me, he's still done a decent job. Hence, I placed him at 3rd because he's still. But Arsenal have always been there and thereabouts, anyways. Arsenal haven't finished, you know, beyond the top 7 in a long time, anyways. I think it's just their player recruitment and so on and so forth has hindered them over the last few years, but it's been the same thing. However, they've had enough money to spend for a long time now, so there's no issue of we don't have money to spend or whatnot. I think Arteta's got them believing again. Arteta's shaped the team in his own image. Getting Lacazette out, getting Aubameyang out, getting those people that he didn't feel fitted his plans. He's got them out. So he's doing well for the way Arsenal are playing some decent football. But at the end of the day, there's no trophy for second place. If you don't win something, it doesn't matter how good you're playing. Their time will come, but I don't think it's now. But as a manager, this season, table doesn't lie. He's pushed Liverpool all the way to the end. So I think 3rd place for the resources he has at his disposal. Yeah, I think it's about right.
That's fair. And number 1 on this list. So Nana's got this manager number 1. Sub has got this manager 3rd, and Chris has got this manager 2nd. And overall is number 1, and this manager is, if I can find him, I'm sure I saw his face. I've seen him. And he's low. And let's start with Nana.
What can you say? He's come to find a well-drilled machine. His first season, he's pissed it. He's pissed the league. Liverpool haven't lost a stride. Few blips here and there, but Liverpool are the same Liverpool that we know from last season and the season before. So as a new manager coming to a completely different league, not knowing anything about the league in terms of how this league really operates, and having to be in arm's length of winning the league in your first spell in the Premier League, I think it's a massive achievement. Nobody comes near him. He's by far the best manager for me this season. Table doesn't lie.
Table definitely doesn't lie. Let's go to Wizard.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, I think he's inherited a very strong team anyway. I don't think he's made hardly any signings, if I'm correct, this year. Barring Chiesa, but I don't think that was someone he really wanted to buy. I think that was a club signing, I think. But I think he's come in, stamped on what he wants to do, and you know he's winning the league. I think it'll be interesting to judge him. I think it'd be more interesting to judge him next season. I think when Man City are back up and running, obviously Man City, when Arsenal are, well, I think Arsenal are challenging them, but when you look at the gap, I can't see Arsenal catching them anyway. But I think next season will be the main time to judge him. But I think he's done really well this season, hence why I put him up there. You know, it's a shame he didn't go on to win the Champions League, which would have been an interesting season if he'd have won the double. But yeah, I think he's done well. I think you can see he's got the potential to be a very, very good manager. So I look forward to seeing how he goes next season.
And so,
Yeah, when you win the league, like as it said, like the trophy don't lie, does it? It's in his hands. Like 100%. They're not getting caught. You know, it's too far gone. Arsenal got other things on their mind anyway. Fair play to Liverpool. He's come in. He hasn't rocked the boat either, has he? To be fair, you know, some managers come in and put that. He just come in and just let the ship sail. You got Salah firing. You know, that's all you really need is. Klopp put that formula in that club, hasn't he? Next season is his test. Slots test is his test next season. But yeah, well done to Liverpool. Well done to him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it's weird because it feels like we're kind of limping to the title, which is a bit weird to even say. You know, we didn't play well against West Ham and even Leicester today. But again, like it was like done by February, March, and I think, well, for me personally, I thought this season was going to be a free hit. Like, I never thought that we were going to win it. I thought maybe again, like even a top four, possibly. But again, I thought he'd like come in and literally try and change a lot. Next season is for me is going to be his test. The players that go, of course, Trent. We don't know exactly what is going on there. Of course, Salah and Van Dijk have signed, but that doesn't mean we've got to rest on our laurels. We have to find players to replace them, because even like today, Salah for me didn't really look with it. Yes, he had a few moments, but we need players now to be challenging the likes of Salah, especially. It's going to be very interesting to see how much money that we've got. Yes, there was a little bit of naivety in the Champions League. We got definitely taught a lesson against PSG and also Newcastle as well. But yeah, winning your league is your bread and butter. So you can't really go wrong in his first season as well. And again, coming like from the Dutch league as well, without being, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it sounds like I am. It's not really a league that you would expect a manager to come in his first season and coming into a club like Liverpool and again to like win our second Premier League and our 20th, trophy, as in major league trophy as well. It's a huge achievement. But again, everything's going to be very interesting next season. That is for me when I'm going to judge him. When when things are not going well and when the fans are going to be on his back slightly of decisions, etc. But yeah, well done to Slot, and again, well done to Liverpool. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Cool. Before we move on to the next topic, Sub, Nana, and Chris, could you give me one honourable mention, someone that I've not, a manager that I've not mentioned, just one name, and Sub, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think we're all going to say the same name. Look, Forrester flying. He's done well, isn't he? So that'll be what I'm saying.
Okay. Nana?
He's on mute.
We can't hear you.
I said same. I put him in there even though you didn't add him to that list. I don't know why, but he deserved a very, very honorable mention. he's one of the top dogs right now. So yeah.
Okay. And Chris?
Yeah, I think Nuno, and I think the Bournemouth manager, I can't remember his name,
Yeah, I
but
can't remember his name.
them are two. I'd give them two both honourable mentions. I think they both did. I think they both done really well, and it shows the Tottenham gave Nuno was I mean, Levy weren't giving him a chance, but that's life, isn't it? But I think they're my two honourable mentions.
Someone mentioned Emery as well. Yeah, I think Emery's got to be mentioned as well. So yeah,
100% Emery as well. Yeah, he's done really well.
Emery, is it Areola and Nuno Santos?
Yeah.
So, cool. All right. Let's briefly, because again, I realize what the time is, and again, thank you to everyone's watching. If you can spend about 5-10 minutes talking about what happened yesterday. Yeah, yesterday in the Vets Prem League. Let's kind of go with the results yesterday. So the results, I don't know if you can see that. It was 0-0 between Catford and Bolton Sports. Catford winning on penalties. Kauai beating LSU Masters 3-1. And it was a independent away win against Sporting Santos. So this is how the table looks right now. Hollington first, Captain second, Independent third, Masters fourth, Kauai fifth, Pole Street sixth, Leone Star seventh, and Sporting Santos eighth. And the fixtures for next week. Now, I've literally grouped everything together. So literally, this is fixtures for next week and a few weeks after. So Catford are playing Sporting Santos. LSU Masters are playing Independent. Kauai are playing Dynamo in a cup, and then Dynamo are playing Catford in a cup as well, away from home, and then Catford's playing Independent in another cup a week after that. So, but yeah, we will talk about that. But let's actually first and foremost let's kind of congratulate Chris and Hollington for like winning that. You know, again, as I kind of said before, winning your league is like bread and butter. So, well done to you, Chris. I mean, what's the feeling in the camp?
Yeah, buzzing. You know, it's a long season. I guess, you know, we're playing against some really good teams, and I think trying to be consistent as best you can throughout the season to get over the line is very important. And I get, you know, we tried our best and we won the games that we needed to win, which got us over the line. So yeah, within the camp, it's something that we set out to do. We wanted to win more trophies than we did, but I feel like you say the league is the bread and butter that you want to win, and that's what we did get it over the line. So yeah, as a player, for myself, it was a great feeling. You know, I think for me, it's a bit. I enjoyed it a bit more as well because it's my second, isn't it? 2 years in a row. So I won it last year with LSU, and now I've won it with Holland this year. So for me, I'm quite lucky because I was able to play in a team with some quality players on both sides, you know. So being able to do that, and I think it's me and Smudge together both won it 2 years in a row because he was with us at LSU. So, you know, it's a great feeling. And then, but for me as well, being able to win it with a lot of really close friends. You know, some of the boys I've won it with, I've known since I was a kid, since young. You know, I played football with them from back in the day, back around the park where I live. So being able to win it with them in the same team as me, it makes it even more special. So it was a good feeling.
So, as the coach and also management at LSU Masters, you must be really, really disappointed in terms of how you relinquished the like title and where like you guys are now. I mean, what's the feeling in the camp?
What I will say is that form is temporary. Yeah, the results don't lie. It hasn't been great for us. But you know, with someone like Lloydie and that, you know, this season hasn't been taken lightly. It's not like we've semi-final and it's like the emotion going through like the management, like it hasn't been good enough. But it's to to sum it up, it's not really one thing that's been wrong. You know, in management, you've got to take accountability for yourself. So, even my in role, like yesterday's game, I kind of gave up and then just started talking to other people. I felt some of the players gave up. You know, that, and that's not a good attitude for what I should be doing. And then you know, people on the pitch, you know, discipline. Discipline's a big thing about football, and that comes from the management, and that has to go through the players. I don't think that's been there. And commitment. Commitment this year is it's not done us well, and and it has to reflect. Like you can't think you're gonna go on and retain titles and go on and win things if you're not getting a good squad out and you're not getting the commitment from, you know, key players, even squad players. And I think that's what Hollerton done well this year. Like, in my own opinion, like the signings they made and the squad they've got, you know, week in and week out, they could have a great 11, different 11, and it's still a great team. And LSU, we didn't have that this year at all, at all. No plan B.
Interesting. And Nana, as that manager at Catford, a lot of people wrote off Catford at the beginning of the season. A lot of people said that we didn't deserve to be in the league. People said that Catford were going to fold. People said that you wasn't good enough to be manager. People said that the players weren't good enough. We're in 2 semi-finals and we finished second. And our season, and again, like it feels like our season has kind of just died. What's the kind of feeling in the camp?
Well, we haven't finished second yet. We need to at least have a draw in the last game to guarantee a second place. Because if Independent win the last game and we lose, then they could come second. Feeling the camp is amazing. I think for me, and I said it before, for Vets football, is a consistency. You can have all the ballers that you have. Are they going to be there every week? If you have the ballers that you have every week, fair enough. You can possibly whitewash it. But if you don't, then you need to have a group of players who believe in the cause, who are going to be there consistently every week, who will be punching above their weight, to create an environment for them to be able to believe in the objective and want to be there for that objective. And that was the main scope for the season. Because, you know, as you already know, in the camp, everybody's still buzzing. The hunger is still there, even up till date. And some of the results that we've had, you know, the season before, if you went to go down, all hell will break loose. But there's been times we've gone 2 goals down, we've come back to win games. So the hunger is there. I think we've overachieved, if I'm being honest. The plan was to consolidate in this league and then build from there. But once the confidence starts building, once everybody gets the taste of this victory, that feeling is immense and everybody wants to go from there. Once you get that taste of the blood, you don't want to stop, isn't it? And that's how it is for this group. and everybody's on it. Even with so many injuries, nobody's giving the game away. If we have the bare 11 or the bare 12, 13, whatever it is, everybody comes and everybody plays out of their skin, which is what I believe has happened this season. Hence, we are where we are. I think this will be our easier season. This will be by far our easier season, because next season is not going to be like that. People are not going to underestimate Catford. The football has done the talking. We are not on social media doing this and talking a whole lot of nonsense. The football has done the talking. I think we've taken points of every team in this league. We've beaten them at least once in our first season, inaugural season, and we are still in two semi cups, semi-finals of two cups, the senior and the Beckenham Cup. It would be great to crown it with silverware. It would be great to crown it with silverware, and I think that's what. Well, I know that's what was on the minds of all the lads. It's also good to see everybody, even those who are injured, come in to watch the game and support, and the camaraderie in the group, the fights, the hunger. There's very little arguments, which is amazing to see, which is what we want. So it's bigger than just football for us. And we're going to keep going to the end of the season to see where the end of the season brings us.
Thank you. First, honestly, thank you so much for your time. Subs, Nana, and Chris, thank you so much. Oh, just to let everyone know as well, the Vex Cup final is at Barking FC. It's on the 4th of May. Details will be out this week. It's Sporting Bengal versus Highgate Albion. So I'll be having conversations with both teams next week. So again, honestly, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to everyone that's been listening and watching. Please, again, put your comments in as well. Let me know if the ranking was correct. And also as well, any other subjects that you guys want to talk about, please feel free to DM me. Again, big shout out to Subs, Nana, and Wizard. My name is Fabrice, the best grassroots centre back in the universe. Yes, I am coining that phrase. I'm bringing it back.
Shut up.
Yes, I see Subspace. I see Chris is just looking at me with some evil eyes. You know what? I'm coining it back. I am
pure nonsense.
No, it's the truth. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see everyone next week.
Bless, man.